we have men and women ready to answer the call. And sometimes we take for granted this fact, that it is easy for men and women of the military in particular to pick up at a moment's notice and to leave the confines of their own homes and travel abroad to assist a brother or a sister nation in its time of need, because those persons too have families. And sometimes they leave without knowing when they would be returning. And so this is one of the most difficult jobs to have anywhere. But we're grateful of this fact, that today we welcome a contingent from the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. And to have here this afternoon its Minister of National Security, Minister Young, and its Commodore Daniels, is a testament of the relationship between all nations of the Caribbean. That in times of crisis, they all rise to help and assist one another. And so, Minister Young, on behalf of our Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, and our government, and the people of the Bahamas, we thank the great nation of Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and our brothers and sisters throughout the region, CARICOM, for standing up with us in this time of our greatest needs. And there is no doubt, because many don't have an appreciation for the devastation that we would have witnessed a few days ago. And I often use this example, that in many cases when you have hurricanes and it hits a landmass, you have one landmass. And so you have vehicles, you clear a path, or you wait for the water to subside, and then you move in. But imagine this, that we have multiple landmasses. So you not only have Grand Bahama and Abaco, but in all of this too, we sometimes forget the keys. And there are many keys throughout the Abacos and some in Grand Bahama where people are living, and they themselves would have received devastation. And so we have to attend to all of their needs. And so we need sea assets to get to them. We need air assets and land assets. So dealing with an archipelago in times of crisis is usually a complex arrangement, and it requires a significant amount of planning and resources. And today, we welcome the resources from Trinidad and Tobago because we now will have a complement of officers from this great nation as well as Jamaica to complement our Royal Bahamas Defense Force, and there's no doubt about it. Commodore Bethel and his team are grateful. And last night I could see the glee on your face, and today it's even wider. Because ours is a small country of just some 400,000 people, but a lot of land to conquer. And the more, the merrier. And Commodore Bethel and his team would have worked with our brothers and sisters throughout this region on many operations. And so the good thing is that we're not talking about strangers here. We're talking about persons who know each other. And that brings a lot to the table. So I'm not gonna run on anymore because, as you know, politicians can talk all day, right, Minister Young? So we're gonna put a period right here. But just to say a welcome, sir, to you and your men and your team. And it's a pleasure having you and we look forward to building on this relationship in the days, weeks, and months ahead. So welcome to the Bahamas. Thank you, sir.
Very much.
Thank you.
At this point in time, we're going to invite the Minister from Trinidad to come and speak.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Minister of National Security, Bahamas, friend, Mr. Dean, Permanent Secretaries, Commodore Bethel, other members of the Executive of the Bahamian Defense Force, citizens of the Bahamas, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much for the opportunity to share a few words and thoughts with you all from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And I'll start by bringing our greetings from Our Excellency, the President of Trinidad and Tobago, Paula May Weeks, Commander of our forces, as well as the Honorable Dr. Keith Rowley, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, both of whom personally requested that I bring to you, Minister, to your government and to your people, their sincerest condolences, sympathy, words and offers of support. Quickly following on that, I want the people of the Bahamas to know that you have the full support of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. This minister is right. I think it was sometime in late last year, November, if I remember correctly, or October, where we met for the first time at the US State Department in Washington, D.C. And we shared similar views as we told our friends in the North how we felt as CARICOM brothers. I've also interacted with your Permanent Secretary a number of times at impacts, both in Grenada as well as in Washington, D.C. And it's a time like this when we realize how close we are and how we must continue to support each other as these small islands of the CARICOM. But if we stand united, we can be a big force. And to the people of the Bahamas, please accept our sincerest sympathy and condolences, but also our offers of hope and our offers of help. As we monitored, being the southernmost island of the Caribbean, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Rowley, was in constant contact with me. And I remember getting one of the calls as he said, "Stuart, Hurricane Dorian is moving too slow." He said it's now moving at 1 mile an hour in the Bahamas. We need to prepare. So speak to the CDS of Trinidad and Tobago and the men and women of our defense force and put them on standby. And I've been in contact with our equivalent, Dr. Chang from Jamaica, to make sure that we could coordinate. So Minister, please know that this is a small token on our behalf. And as I address the 100 troops that I've brought with me today, it's actually 119 members of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, with a party of 19 here to do reconnaissance, to feed back to us in the next few days the logistics of what's taking place on the ground and how we may be better able to support. But I will, Chief of Defense Staff of Trinidad and Tobago myself, will be leaving 100 men and women from our regiment, our Coast Guard, our Air Guard and our reserves to assist you all in your public order, medics, as well as engineers. I've also brought a small crew from a Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission to assist there, and I've been in contact with the chairman of our Water and Sewerage Authority as well, and they will get up here by Tuesday of this week to provide whatever support we can, and know that you have our full support. The people of Trinidad and Tobago are rising up to the occasion, I'm happy to say, and they are currently putting together as much relief supplies as we can get in accordance with what your Prime Minister has asked for. And I hope that our private sector will help us to get that here as quickly as possible. It's a time like this when the global eyes are on our region that I am proud to be a son of the soil, not only of Trinidad and Tobago, but of the CARICOM. Because we may have our differences as we go along, as everyone does. But anytime it's a time of need like this, we always come together. And I remember in 2017, because I was holding a number of acting portfolios at the time that put me in the hot seat in Trinidad when brothers and sisters in Antigua and Barbuda and Dominica in particular, and we had to rise to the occasion there again, and we will continue to do so. So please let your Honourable Prime Minister know, the rest of your cabinet, the men and women in your defense force, as well as your citizens, that we in Trinidad and Tobago, being your furthest brothers and sisters to the south, we are happy to get here in very short time to offer what support we can initially. And we will continue to provide as much support as we can from where we are, and know that we stand with you and your people at every step of the way, because we know it's a great devastation that you all have faced and will continue to unearth in the coming days. And our men and women are prepared to stand with you, by you, and for you as you go through that very difficult task. So thank you all, members of the media and everyone else, Bahamian citizens, for allowing us the opportunity to assist, but also being so welcome and in such a short period of time, helping us to work out the logistics of getting here. As we packed the plane on the tarmac in Piapo a few hours ago, with me constantly looking at my watch to see that we kept at least within a reasonable time. I am proud of us as CARICOM brothers and sisters and what we will achieve. In the first instance, we will leave behind 100 men and women for the next 30 days, but we will continue to be in constant contact, and our Chiefs of Defence staff will continue, I'm sure, to apprise us of what more we can do. Thank you very much, Minister. Much appreciated.
Well, you heard there from the Minister of National Security of the Bahamas, Marvin, and Minister of National Security of Trinidad and Tobago, Stuart, and Minister Young indicating that 100 men and women of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force will remain here in the Bahamas for the next 30 days to provide relief. 19 persons also part of the contingent to do a reconnaissance to keep the government aware of what is required, and if any further attention and aid is needed, to be sent to the Bahamas. Both Ministers of National Security indicating that this is an indication of how CARICOM should come together and work together and continue to build as one common region. Now that the media conference is over, the ministers have gone on to have closed-door conversation with regard to what will take place here over the next few days. Again, the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force staying here in the Bahamas for the next 30 days, and TTT News will bring you as much as possible here on TTT Live Online and TTT News.